the opportunity that it with current shakeups in the network marketing industry, we were looking for a new home to take many folks in our own downlines, as well as be able to offer each and every one of you an opportunity. So as we get started here, before we get into anything fun, let me just hit the start recording for everybody. Excellent. Before we get into the fun side of ADIT Network, we do have to go through some legal disclosures. So let me just start off by reading the ADIT Network Income Disclosure Statement for 2012. It states, the earnings used as examples in any presentation of ADIT Network or by any other affiliate already involved with ADIT Network are not necessarily representative of the income, if any, that an ADIT Network affiliate can or will earn through his or her participation in the ADIT Network compensation plan, but simply are used as examples. These figures should not be considered as guarantees or projections of your actual earnings or profits. Any representation or guarantee of earnings would be misleading. Success with ADIT Network results only from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, and leadership. Your success will depend on how effectively you exercise these qualities. Now, if you guys are like me, you're not afraid to work hard. And as Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, states, luck is a dividend of sweat. The more you sweat, the luckier you get. I'm a firm believer in that. And so let me ask you guys something here. Are you completely satisfied with your current financial position in life? But if you guys, if you answered no, let me just state this to you. You're not alone, okay? There's millions and millions of people across the globe that are currently sitting in that same situation, looking for something more in life. Something that will make a difference to their long-term financial picture, that will pay them enough that can make leaving that 9-to-5 job a reality. Something they could use to help others secure their financial futures and at the same time benefit from everyone's efforts. In order to make it worth getting involved with, it might need to be something that's ideally a part of a major paradigm shift, something that's changing the way that the world operates, not just a small market, but the entire world and the way that things are changing. Guys, if any of this sounds like something that you've had running through your head lately, again, you're not alone. And that's probably why you're on the call here tonight. What if there was a way to get involved in a multi-billion-dollar industry that to this point has been primarily controlled by just a few major corporations? What if the two largest players in that industry were currently battling for dominance, which opened the market or opened the door for a new player to slide in undetected? What if the new company allowed you to personally share in the billions of dollars that are being generated from that industry? That's exactly what we're here to talk about tonight, guys. It's the evolutionary change from print advertising to the exploding new industry of online advertising. Now, it's not brand new. It's been around long enough for billions and billions of dollars to be generated, but it's also not that old of an industry. But if you look in just the last few years, what's happened, look at the major decrease in print advertising. It's taken an over a 60% hit in just the last few years. Another major change in advertising is the amazing increase that online digital advertising has seen. It's an over 100% increase in just the last few years also. It's predicted, guys, that in the near future, over 60% of all advertising will be done online. If you compare the top companies right now, Google, Amazon, Yahoo, eBay, and MSN, Google sees over $691.27 a second in profits. If you look on down the scale a little bit, you got Yahoo. Everybody's familiar with Yahoo. They see about $199.45 a second. And then we got MSN at the bottom of all that, and they're still making over $101.92 a second. Why do I bring that up? Because that's the industry that we're referring to right now. That's the industry that you guys have the opportunity tonight to get involved in. Matter of fact, in 2010, it was the first time in history that online advertising had grown to surpass print advertising. And it didn't just do it here in the United States, it did it globally. And it continues to skyrocket. It's already happening, folks. And while Amazon and Google are battling with each other for dominance, it has opened that door for ADIT Network. ADIT Network is a fast-rising global internet advertising platform out of Asia, which is connecting businesses, customers, and entrepreneurs worldwide. ADIT Network has put together one of the most cutting-edge business platforms that the world has ever seen. It's allowing average folks like you and I to work from home and for the first time ever get to share in a portion of the billions of dollars that's being spent on online advertising. Our business platform is so strong that when I was out there in Hong Kong, I was able to speak with some folks that are working currently on acquiring Buick of Asia. Now that's a large corporation, guys. That's huge. What interest would they have in us? We have a dedicated member base that is willing to buy from them if they become one of our merchants and are willing to discount their prices on their cars. That's the same thing that we offer all of our merchants. Discount your products and we'll compensate our affiliates to purchase from you. Now Buick put together a little test market, and ADIT Network launched that out there to all their members. They have about 40,000 plus members in East Asia and Hong Kong and Canada. And in less than a week, ADIT Network was able to put together over 300 new orders for cars that they presented back to Buick. Now Buick's tried several different avenues for marketing, and they came back and they said, ADIT Network, we've never had anybody turn us that many sales in that short amount of time for a new advertising platform. Buick is very, very interested in ADIT Network at this point, along with several other major worldwide companies are looking at us as an advertising platform because of what we're putting together. ADIT Network has partnered this cutting-edge business model with the highest paying multi-platform compensation plan to ever grace the network marketing industry. So powerful, guys, listen to me here. It's so powerful that in the first 7 months of pre-launch, on August 18th, I was out there in Hong Kong for the launch of the corporate office. In the first 7 months of pre-launch, it had already created over 30 millionaires throughout East Asia and Canada. Now, guys, what if none of the other tens of thousands of marketing companies in the last 65 years have realized these types of income results during their pre-launches? Do you realize how valuable that would make ADIT Network structure and compensation plan to you and your financial futures? Folks, this is the hottest program to hit the marketing world in years, and it became very evident to myself and the other Americans that went out to Hong Kong. ADIT Network's founder, Dr. Zhang, is a marketing genius who taught at the university level of mathematics and physics for years. When he left the university teaching, he went on to the network marketing industry where he became very successful in putting together an organization of over 50,000 people in his current downline. With the struggle for dominance between Google and Amazon and the current global economic conditions, perfect timing for us to get involved. You see, another quote from Ray Kroc says, you know, the two most important requirements for major success are, one, being at the right place at the right time. Guys, that's right now. And two, actually doing something about it. Now myself and the other 6 people bringing this to the United States, and we're up to about 400 reps here in the U.S. now, and Dr. Victor Zhang and his other 41,000 plus affiliates across the world, we're doing something about it. We're moving forward on this. So let me ask you, what if I was to tell you that this company is right now opening into North America and it's going to be followed by over 200 more nations globally, and you could be on the ground floor of all this if you simply got involved tonight? Would you grab a hold of the opportunity and run with us? Or would you sit back and watch it go on without you, and in 10 years sit there wondering what you just did and that you're regretting the decision that you made? Folks, I'm not here to tell you that I've made every perfect decision in my life. There's been several times where I wish I would have made a different decision. My foresight wasn't real good, but my hindsight was great. I sit there regretting certain things that I hadn't done in life. Don't make that you. Make sure that in the next 10 years that you're benefiting from this growth of this company, not sitting there regretting it. ADIT Network has made it very achievable for average affiliates to do incredibly well with its compensation structure and extra perks. We understand that this is an industry where 95% of the people who join typically won't do very well. Guys, if you've joined network marketing before and you didn't do well with it, you know what? I've been right in your shoes. But if you just keep trying and you look for the next best thing, guys, that's what we have here tonight. Even though 95% of people who join network marketing typically don't do well, that is not the case with the structure that Dr. Victor Zhang has assembled. When I was sitting there in my hotel room in Hong Kong about the second day of my week-long trip while I was out there meeting with corporate, the light came on. I had a hard time sleeping when I realized it had truly been put together here. If you're sitting there wondering if you can do well with ADIT Network, I'm going to tell you you can, but you have to understand that for yourself. So let me ask you a few questions. Do you think you could do well if you could earn income without recruiting or selling anything? I think that's a pretty obvious yes. What if there was a daily cash rebate that gave you up to 70% of your startup costs back in your pocket, simply for evaluating 20 companies a day, giving them a 1 to 5 star rating and telling these merchants that are part of our organization what you think of their advertisements? What if you received 10 levels of upfront compensation? I think that would be pretty incredible. What if you got paid to infinity on all the people that you brought in and all the people that they brought in? What if, off of that structure, you were able to receive 8 generations of matching bonus checks? That means you'd get paid multiple times for doing one effort. Or what if each aspect of our compensation structure had a multi-million-dollar earnings potential? What if ADIT Network had a group of leaders right here in the United States, currently in place, that were driven to help each and every one of you tonight succeed in this business? What if there were both huge semi-passive and proactive earnings potentials that would work for people, again, even if they chose not to recruit other people? What if the same system that helped over 30 affiliates earn over $1 million in the last 7 months had recently been improved and is currently being improved to make it even more achievable? What if I told you that ADIT Network offers all of these things and more? Folks, this is a system that was created to help the average person succeed, and the above average, the leaders, the go-getters, was created to help them soar, to go beyond anything that they had ever been able to achieve before. With ADIT Network, incomes to over 7 figures within a few short months is actually a reality. Now, I'm not going to just sit here and tell you that. We have the testimonials coming forward. You see, when I went out to Hong Kong, there was so much excitement out there. I didn't understand why at the time when I got there. I was new to this business just 3.5, 4 weeks ago. I didn't know what I was honestly going out to look at. I went out with one of the original people that was bringing it to the United States, who had asked me to come out and be part of his team. When I got there was so much excitement from the Asians and the people that had been flown in. There was over 300 people that had earned their way to this trip. It was an all expense paid trip for over 300 people that had already done the production to be there, all in pre-launch. Now, out of those folks, there was a young man that was about 25 years old. I call him the bicycle boy. He was so enthusiastic. He was in all the photos with us and was very, very enthusiastic. I thought most of the day he had to be, a brand new person in the business because, and he had seen something amazing and the light came on and he was just really excited. I didn't know until later that afternoon who that young man was. Well, the reason I call him the bicycle boy was this guy got involved in ADIT Network about 1 month after it opened its doors. He understood early on what was there, and he rode his bike around mainland China and talked to each and every person he could get his hands on. Now, let me explain a couple things about that. Mainland China, there's a large gap between the rich and the poor. It doesn't cost them anything less than it does you to get involved in ADIT Network. We have a large exchange rate with the Hong Kong dollar. It costs them quite a bit more hours of work each week in order to save up the money to be able to get involved in something like this. But the bicycle boy took a bigger risk. By doing meetings in mainland China, they're not network marketing friendly. If one of the neighbors would have called the cops, everybody at those meetings could have been arrested. But he didn't care. He took the chance because he saw that this was a way for him for once and for all to achieve his dreams. The reason that young man was on stage that night was it just 7 months after spending that time riding around, after 60 days of riding around and losing over 20 pounds from all the activity, he had over 10,000 people in his downline, folks. And just 1 month prior to the corporate launch, so still in pre-launch, he had made over $800,000 in 1 month. I think that's pretty incredible. I think by now you can see how successful you can be with the ADIT network and the amazing business structure that's been created here. But guys, this is not all of it. Dr. Victor Zhang, with his unparalleled generosity, felt that he had more to give back. What if I told you that Dr. Zhang had built into his program what I call a fail-safe module? Something that's going to assure some level of success to each and every one of you if you choose just to put in a minimal amount of effort. What if you receive something called consumer credits? Consumer credits are similar to airline miles or bonus rewards. It's a thank you to you for joining the company and helping us build up our member base and our merchant base. So what if you received consumer credits which would grow to hundreds of thousands of new credits over a short period of time, again with no recruiting? You could trade these credits for products, services, or simply sell them and pocket the cash. As you can see, Dr. Zhang thought everything through. He built this program with the success of the average affiliate in mind, the 95% who typically don't succeed. He built it for them. However, he did not forget about the leaders and the major achievers, and he personally feels that leadership and hard work should be generously rewarded. How about a variety of extra perks for those who want to go after it? Things ranging from iPads, Mac laptops, all expense paid trips to Hong Kong, and cars ranging from $15,000, $30,000, $50,000, and all the way up to $100,000. And guys, what if your luxury car award actually gave you the keys and the title, that you own that vehicle, unlike the other conditional payment car awards and the other programs that are out there today? You'd actually own the vehicle. Let's take it a step further. What if you had the opportunity to secure territories for perpetual geographical royalties on every sale in your territory, whether it came from your downline or not? What am I saying? If you're sitting there a little confused, wondering what I just said to you there, what I'm saying is you'd have the opportunity to buy New York territory, Dallas, Texas, San Francisco, Seattle, Los Angeles, so on and so forth. Territories where you could purchase them from the company, almost like a franchise. And anybody in any downline that ever sold advertising in those markets, you would receive a percentage of all that advertising. Now, getting money in and out of this company, if you guys have been a part of any of the other companies that are out there where it's real difficult to get money into, maybe it takes weeks to get your money in and even longer to get your money out, guys, that's not the case with ADIT-Network. It's very simple. You can send off a wire, make a copy of the receipt that the bank gives you on that wire, email it into corporate, and typically in 1 to 4 hours you're funded. Not off the wire being received, but 1 to 4 hours of the email being received by the financial department. That's incredible. They're putting their faith in you and saying, yeah, we're going to help you get started right now. Or you can use something called UCash. You can call your upline and say, hey, I want to get started. I've got a couple of grand here. You can come in for different levels, guys, 100, 300, 1,000, 2,000, or 5,000. Now, we'll go deeper into those in the training right after this at 7:30. But just know there's multiple different levels that you can come in at with different perks at each level. But let's say you call your upline and say, hey, I want to come in at 2 grand. Do you have any UCash? What is UCash? It's an online account that the ADIT-Network has in the back office where all your daily cash rebates, that up to 70% of your startup cost, that would dump back into your UCash account. Your daily sponsorship awards, anytime you sponsor somebody, you're going to get 10% of them, and you're going to have 10 levels deep of overrides on people who brought in people who brought in people. Your monthly binary commissions. Oh yeah, we don't just have a unilevel, we have a binary and matching bonus checks on the binary. All of that dumps into your UCash account. So when you go to get involved, you can call your upline and say, hey, I want to get involved. Do you have any UCash available? And then at that point, you make a deposit to your upline's account or you hand them the money, and you're instantly funded. Pretty simple to get involved. We also have Solid Trust Pay and Payza being set up. I believe we have the numbers. I haven't checked up on it in the last couple of days here to see if it's finished. That's not my chosen way to get involved, but I know there will be a lot of folks that have money sitting in their Solid Trust Pay or Payza accounts that might want to use that. How do you get money out? It's very simple. Once it hits your Ucash account, you can either fund a new member into the business and take your cash instantly, or you can ask for a check to come back to you, or simply ask for a wire. The wire will be to you. We have on the webinar in 3 to 4 days. Typically, it's taken 24 to 48 hours. There is no 2-week drag or anything like that, guys. Folks, this is an incredible business. Okay, it will become a world-class advertising platform in less than 3 to 5 years, and it will make many, many more millionaires along the way. Don't waste any more time. Get back to the person who referred you to ADIT Network. Thank them for thinking of you, and get involved. Everything I talked about here today is time sensitive, and it's very important that you get yourself placed as soon as possible. Don't let the paralysis of analysis set in. I know this was a brief overview. Okay? If you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't know everything there is to know about ADIT Network, guys, enough to clearly understand that you need to be involved. Once you get involved, then you can learn as you earn. Get on the training calls Monday through Friday at 7:30 Pacific. Get on these calls and listen to them over and over and over again. We're putting training modules and things in place for you. We have recorded webinars, some that were just completed today that'll be made available to you guys as soon as tomorrow. So don't let another leader join this company before you, because if you understand a binary structure, you want to make sure they fall in your downline, not you falling in theirs. It'll make a major difference in your income in the near future. Get back to the person who sent you here and get started. Join us for your financial breakthrough of 2012. We look forward to meeting and working with each and every one of you folks. Thank you very much for coming out tonight.